Help! Why is it so hot in here? So it is 91 degrees outside today. At this moment, I need to mow the grass, as typical in our Sunday videos. But our house is just so hot. So those of you watching, if you've got a mobile home, we have a double wide here. If you've got a mobile home or house with heating issues, what do you look for to try to find the problem for why your house won't cool down? So we've got 3 rooms barricaded off together just because the way our house is structurally built, that's the only way it really made sense. We took the living room, kitchen, and the dining room, blocked them off together. We've got that $500, almost $500 portable AC unit sitting in that room, trying to cool it down because we thought the AC, the central AC is not working. That was our assumption. Well, now that we've got this portable unit running, it's still hot in there. Even with those 3 areas blocked off together with the portable unit, venting outside. Now, one thing that I am thinking could be part of the problem, but I don't know if it's everything, is the windows in our house. Obviously the gas seal, they're double pane windows. Obviously the gas seal has been broken because the window inside is crumbling. So you can tell that there's been some sort of erosion of the gases on the inside, because in my opinion, that's not how a window should look. So we had double pane gas windows at the other house, and they did not look like that on the inside. So I would say those are broken, so those need to be replaced. I can feel some heat coming from them, but we have curtains and we have blinds, so I would think that would hold back some of that heat. So what else could it be? So again, if you're out there, you're watching this, you've got a mobile home or a house with heating issues or cooling issues, what do you look for? What tests do you run to try to figure out where the problem is? And then, if you know common problems like this, maybe you could even tell me what you do to fix it. But even knowing what to look for would be helpful. Like right now, all I found is the windows. I'm about to check under the crawl space just to make sure. I mean, we just had an inspection 3 months ago before we bought this house, 3 or 4 months ago. But I'm gonna check to make sure all the insulation looks like it's batted up. I am not crawling all the way under there, so I'm not dressed for that right now. Well, I do see one problem in there, and I'm not an expert, but just based on what I've seen inside and what I'm seeing outside, I'm gonna grab a flashlight to verify, but it sure looks like the insulation is hanging down right under the furnace. And it's been my assumption that furnace is leaking down into the floor, because all the condensation that's building up on it that's supposed to be going down the drain is dripping down inside the unit, which I noticed when I took the face off. So if you see that right there, that's right where the furnace is, which has been dripping down. It is ruining the insulation. But all around here, the rest of the way though, I mean, it looks like some water beating up, but the insulation is all where it's supposed to be. So I think we're good in the crawl space area. I don't think this is where we're losing our air. Except for that spot right there. That whole furnace needs to be replaced, guys. That's just it's junk. It just needs to go. The fan doesn't feel strong enough. And now I know that it's for sure leaking and destroying the floor underneath. It needs to go. One thing really worth noting, it is actually really cool in that crawl space. Really cool, which tells me this is not our problem. It is really cool under there. Couldn't be letting heat in when it's so cold, right? That's what I would think. Guys, it is time for me to get outside my old way of thinking. There's been a few projects that I've been wanting to do, like make a compost bin and a clothesline, just to save some money around the homestead. But I've been like, I don't have the cash to do these things. Well, that needs to be the old way of thinking. Because the truth is, I could do these things if I didn't limit myself and my way of thinking. See, my old way of thinking is I need to buy it. I need to buy the compost bin, I need to buy the clothesline. My new way of thinking needs to be, it's okay if I don't have a bin yet. And if I need a clothesline, I could just hang a rope outside from maybe the swing set to a pole or something. So I need to come to grips with that reality and start making a compost heap instead of a compost necessarily bin. So that's what we're doing right now. So guys, my wife found a mouse hole the other day up under the sink. It was behind a drawer. She had to pull the drawer out to find it. So it's not like it was something evident that we should have noticed a long time ago. But the mouse did get up in the drawer and started pooping and trying to eat the soap, which is how it was found out that it had been there. So when we pulled out the drawer, she found that, or I found, it had nested back there, and it appears that it was using the previous owner's underwear as part of its nesting material. So I sealed that up with some pieces of wood just to keep it from being able to get back under the kitchen vanity into areas that we actually utilize. In that process, I did discover where the water line and the sink drain come in on the right side. There's a giant hole under there for those pipes, way bigger than what it needs to be, which is probably how they were getting in from under the crawl space. Also, just the other day, we got our first vegetable from the land. We got our first cucumber and got to enjoy that, so that was awesome. So here it is, the start to our first compost pile. And our plan is just to keep getting the simple materials like the organic matter from the kitchen and throwing it onto this thing. Any dead grass, weed clippings, all that stuff, put it in here, adding some water, turning it, see what happens. We had another garden break-in the other day. So despite the fencing and us restapling down, retaping down the fence, something just chewed right through it. Why not? So our next step is trying to, I guess, outsmart them. This isn't a strength maneuver by any means. They could definitely push this over, but I'm hoping they won't be able to figure it out since they chew through the wire. These are like miniature greenhouses made out of recycled plastic bottles. I'm hoping they won't figure out how to just tip them off the beans, but you know what? They just might. But I'm running out of options. I just keep trying everything. We'll see what works. So here we are.